Since on Monday, we have been having several insightful, inspiring sessions. On Monday, who can remind us what we had? What session? Health session. And in fact, we went beyond theory and we did practicals. All right? And it was interesting. Yesterday, we talked about family life because we all belong to a family. Both your immediate family, the extended, and even the community family, like places like church, school, and the likes. Today, we are going to talk about something that's very important, and that is money. Turn to your neighbor and say, money. We want to talk about money. All right? And for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, we are going to go into money, ask questions about money. Now, money from several angles, from investment, from savings, from side hustle, from earning. So all angles, both in going out and in coming in, we'll look at money and see how best. In fact, Pastor was saying by the time we are done with this session, because of the caliber of facilitators we have, money will be raining down from the sky. So, so please get your bags. In case you have books or something, empty it because money will rain down from the sky today. Amen. Now, today, the session is focused on personal finance. All right? If you check your program, it's titled Personal Finance. And we have 2 panelists. Typically, what we do is we ask the panelists questions that are already prepared, and then we let you ask questions. The usual way, write it down. So as soon as after we've exhausted the first hour, I'm going to send someone around to collate the questions. Then we take up the answers from there. Is that okay? Great. Let me introduce our panelists. The first panel leader that we have today is someone who is an avid business and finance coach. She's been with us. She was with us in 2021 during our singles conference online, if you remember. And that 1 hour was mind-blowing, if you agree with me, for those of you who were in the singles conference last year. She's passionate about helping people succeed financially, not by giving you money, but by empowering you to make money and also to know how to turn money to bring more money. If I want to go through her profile, in 10 minutes we'll still be reading. But I'll just summarize. The person I'm talking about has facilitated in several government parastatals, has mounted the stage with several others across the world. In 2020, she was named among the top 100 women in Nigeria, women of influence in Nigeria. So it's not a small person, all right? And very recently, because I follow her on LinkedIn, I saw one very splashing news. And that news, she's been recently admitted into Forbes Coaching Council. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Shola Adeshakin. Let's put our hands together. I don't want you to stop until she gets up here. She is an avid finance personality in the middle. All right, great. We are blessed to also have one of our own. He's a delegate, but we know he's big. All right? One of our own pastors who is a finance coach. If I were to read his profile again, his profile is also very long, but I will try and summarize it to make sure I don't, pastors don't like to be introduced too elaborately. So Pastor Bayo Solademi, he was here about 2 months ago, if you remember, and he took us through a journey of personal finance. He's an avid author, and today we're trying to circle and focus our conversation around one of his books titled Money Insights. Please welcome with me our pastor who is a nurse in California, who is an investor a business owner, an employee, and just every. Let's put our hands together for Pastor Bayo Solademi. I don't know. I'm not. In case I'm murdering the name, apologies, Pastor Bayo. Pastor Bayo is going to be to answer all our questions as well as, take us through this powerful session. My name is Terry Uzakbo, and I'm going to anchor the session. All right? I will need someone, two people that will be bigger than me, to help me take down this podium. Please, two of you. Thank you. Let's take it down so you can see them very well. Please be careful. Take it down. Great. Should we move forward a bit? Let's move forward a bit. Yes. I'll help you. Yes. All right. Can we get 2 microphones, please? You're ready.
Thank you.
All right. Are we ready? Okay. So, having introduced our guests, I would just drop a line or two about personal finance. In this audience today, we have people, not just this audience, we're also talking about online audience. We have a very robust online audience. We have people who earn well, but still, any single problem, they will borrow money. Are you that person? There are people who, it's as if the money is never enough. But you know that person who, you know you earn more than the person, but the person is building his house and you have not bought a land. Are you that person? You see your friends, they've invested in crypto. There's just a lot of, they're doing so well, but you know your earning power is like them. But somehow, you are not where they are. Are you that person? Are you that person that thinks that you have enough energy, you have enough wisdom to take on a side hustle or to do more so that you can earn more? But somehow it's not happening. Are you in this audience? This session is for you. I may not have described all the scenarios, but this session is for you. That's why I'm going to ask a few questions, and then that will take us into the session. So the first question I will ask, please, just maybe a minute or two each. What do you think, just on the topic personal finance, if you were to be asked to give a bit of an overview of what personal finance is and how it affects everyone on this audience, what would you say? Let's start, ladies first. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I am excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. So, when we talk about personal finance, listen, it is what it is. Literally, personal and finance, whatever that means to you. Now, personal has got to do with you as an individual, or maybe a business. But, because we're talking about personal finance, we would limit it to personal. So it has to do with finances that are personal to you. Do you catch the drift? Without much ado, like kindergarten level. Now, the reason we call it personal finance is because it is meant to be largely personal. We live in a world where people are easily pressured, easily moved, right? Easily agitated by what is happening around them. The term finance could be very broad in nature, by definition and all of that. But when we talk about personal finance, it has to do with how you as an individual would manage or should manage your finances. It has to do with how you manage your resources, how you manage your money. Now, I'm careful with the terms I'm using because money is not exactly the same thing as finance, right? I mean, I could go into, but this session is still very, very early. Let's not go into that. So personal finance has to do with how you make, manage, and multiply your resources. And part of your resources is money. So when we talk about personal finance, we are saying, how do you look at your resources? How do you make them? How do you manage them? And how do you multiply them? Something came to mind as he was talking, just as I sat here. And, I was wondering and just thinking about money. So they tell us that money is finite, right? If you go online, they will tell you that the amount of money that flows through the economies of the world is so amount of trillions. But again, money is infinite. And I'll give you an example. For example, if you have about 100,000 in your bank account right now, that money is finite. But you have the potential and the capacity to increase that money before the end of the day, exponentially, geometrically. And those are some of the things that we will discuss. And I will be sharing with you personal examples. So for me, summarily, personal finance, number one, is how you make, manage, and multiply your resources, your finance, and your money. And there are skills to it. There's a skill set, there is a knowledge set, and there is a mindset. But we'll go into that. I hope you have picked a thing or two.
We've picked a lot. There's make, manage, and multiply. And then there's the mindset, knowledge set, and everything set. All right, let's put our hands together for her, please. Pastor, do you want to add something quickly?
Thank you. Thank you very much for that explanation. I'll come from the layman angle. Personal finance is your account balance. I don't know how many of you review your account balance at the end of the month or at the end of the week. Talk less about the end of the year. So when you're talking about personal finance, that is who you are. Your account balance is who you are. Because everything you have spent, the resources God gives you, is in your account balance or your account statement. So make it part of your life to review your account statements, no matter the account, how many bank accounts you have, to review your account statements at least every month, so that you will know where you are overspending and where you need to change, what you need to drop, what you need to add, what you need to change. Then I will say personal finance is also, number one, your income. Number two, your budget. How you want to spend your income. Number three, your balance at the end of the month or at the end of the week. And also your plan for next month. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for him. I thought Shola had actually exhausted the definition or explanation of personal finance. Well, thank you for the additional insight. So let's go into the questions. Now, the session is divided into 4 broad areas. The first one is budgeting and investment options for the 21st century. The second one is how to save 360,000 naira in 1 year without stealing. All right? We want to see how practical it can be. Some of you are saying, 360,000, that's 1,000 per day. But by December 2022, if we check some people's balance, even 30,000 or 36,000 will not be there. So we really need to get practical to know how to get our acts right. And I pray God will inspire and open our brains today in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Then, at the end of the session, we'll review 2 books. One is written by our very own Shola Adishakin. It's one of our first books. She's an author of 8 books. We'll just pick one and review it. 40 Frugal rules to your journey towards personal financial freedom, something like that. And then Pastor Bayo's book titled Money Insight. I have both books here. This is the book. Yes. Okay. So we're going to review this book, ask a few questions from it, and then we'll also review Money Insight. So it's going to be interesting. I believe by the time we're done with this, either we would have answered half of the questions that ought to have come, or we would have multiplied the questions because everyone now becomes curious. But see, don't sleep, just stay alert. First question, under budgeting and investment. So here it says, the world is fast changing and investment options have become something to worry about. As a young professional, I want to start from people, ages 20 to like 50. As a young professional, what investment options are viable today? What investment options are viable today? Remember, as a young professional, so address these questions to the people like me, people like the young guys, the young ladies here. Now we have questions for all demography. So just tell us, right now there is crypto, there is real estate. In fact, the way real estate people drum it down your eardrums, like you were like, is it the only investment option available? There is stocks. Right now they're a bit quiet. They're just keeping quiet. I don't know why, but again, it's a viable, it's an option. And then a whole lot more. So tell us, for a young professional, what options are available, and then which ones are viable? So let's start with Pastor Bayo, and then back to Shola.
Thank you. I thought you would start with a professional. Okay. When it comes
Is his microphone loud?
Okay, when it comes to investment options, investment options. I know crypto is there, shares from companies are there. There are several options. But because we are actually dealing with personal finance, what can you afford is actually the question. Then one golden rule is this: don't invest in what you don't understand. Invest in only what you understand. Okay, if I put my money in shares, do I know how it's going to double or how? Because the share market is very funny. Right now, there's a depression. Right now, even in the US, it's worse. And when you talk about real estate, yes, that's another option. Shares is an option. Crypto is an option. Real estate is an option. We have different platforms right now that are offering various forms of investment portfolios, like Piggy, Vest, go to ARM. We have insurance companies. They also have packages. Different options where you can put your money. Then, of course, there is also fixed deposit, although that one is controlled. We have bonds. We have another option is for you to start a business by yourself or a side hustle. That's another investment option. We have agriculture, which is big. I love that session because that's the first on Maslow's hierarchy. Food. You can never get it wrong providing food or water. You can't get it wrong. Then different options. We have the IT. Then you can invest in intellectual properties. You can invest in different things. Maybe in furnitures. You have a company producing furniture. You have a friend that wants to start one. You give the person your money. As part of it, you buy some shares or you provide capital for that company to start. There are different options. If you open your eyes, there is money everywhere. But affordability comes in. What can you afford per time? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All Right, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. Affordability is really, really critical. I wanted to just mention something about budgeting, but I will wait for the question. In addition to what he has said, when people ask these questions, what should I invest in? Now, you would realize that these days, a lot of people have been quite quiet about investments because most of us, or a lot of us, have gotten our fingers burnt, right? Yeah, crypto, down. Stocks, bearish market. Even agricultural investments, too. How many of you have lost money in one agri scheme or the other in recent times? Or you have delayed investments? So pretty much the whole investment terrain looks kind of bearish. But I tell people, even whilst it was bullish and all of that, 4 things to consider before you put your money in any investment scheme.
Write this down.
And I call them the SGAR factors. SGAR. S stands for your financial situation. And that's what they said about affordability. Somebody who earns 2 million naira comes to you and tells you, there's this investment scheme or crypto, and you are earning, not the person here, 50%. Somebody else is earning 100,000. By the time don't forget that out of the 100,000 you have to take care of we will talk about that in budgeting. Now, the person is willing to put 200,000 in crypto. What's 200,000 out of 1 million? 20%, right? 20%. Which is 200% of your own salary. Then you now join. Follow them come. How do they say it? Now only me come or only me work out. You now follow them to go and do crypto, forgetting that the person is only investing 20% of their income, and you are investing 50,000 out of 100,000, which is 50%. So affordability, your financial situation, and that's why personal finance is largely what? Personal. Personal. You cannot follow somebody else's plan or strategy or philosophy. Now, the second thing will be your goals. Now, I know the word goal is a loosely used term in the world of personal finance and generally. But I tell people when we talk about goals in personal finance, there are 3 categories of goals. Simple. Short-term goals are the things you want to achieve within 1 year. Mid-term goals are the things you want to achieve within 2 to 3, 4 years. Long-term goals are the things you want to do maybe 7 years and above. So before you put your money in any investment scheme, consider your goals, your finance goals. One of the shortest goals ever is what? Paying rent. In Nigeria, you pay rent once a year. Overseas, sir, you pay your mortgage and your rent when? Every month. So in Nigeria, when people say, I have an emergency, what is the emergency? House rent. How can house rent be an emergency? You had a whole year to prepare for it. But that's not even where I am going. If you have money for rent, say 750,000 or 1 million, and you know this money is for rent, and then somebody comes to tell you that there is this investment or Naira bet or whatever, and you now go and take your rent. Can you see? A short-term goal, and you put it in that investment scheme, and something happens. You now say the government is bad, people are terrible. No, because you did not plan your personal finance well. The third thing is your age. And I'm glad he said, let's look at things you can do between 20 and 50. People don't think about that, right? And they don't think about the peculiar circumstances. Somebody who is married can take risks. Yes or yes? You can say they are doing crypto somewhere, go and put all your money there. But somebody who has 3 children, school fees, medicals, your children won't announce to you when they are going to have a fever. Even if you have sent 4 children to the same school, the school owner will not say, this last one, don't bother paying. Your landlord will not say, you have been a good tenant for 5 years, don't pay next year's rent. Does it happen like that?
Nope.
So you have to consider your age and your peculiar circumstances before you put your money in anything. Mind you, I have not even mentioned the types of investments because he has mentioned them. I'm just saying, before you invest, borrow yourself what? Sense. Yes. The last one is R, which is your risk temperament. Some people, they do not have a risk appetite that is high at all. They don't want to lose money. But they will be following people who are aggressive. There are 3 types of risk temperament. Conservative, you don't want to lose money. Moderate and aggressive. So again, it comes back to what? Personal finance. His risk temperament is different from mine. My risk temperament is different from his. He may want to lose money. I don't want to lose money. I may want to gamble with money. He may not want to lose money. So those 4 things are the things to consider before putting your money into any of those things you mentioned. As time goes on, I will also talk about the different asset classes. But I hope with what he has said and what I have said, going forward, before you put your money in anything, you think about it. Are we okay?
Okay. So thank you very much. Is this loud enough? Okay, great. Now, the first time I met Shola, there was this story you said about when you were about getting married, when you were in the banking sector, or something like that, and gradually you got yourself in a financial mess, but after a couple of years, you got yourself out. That story was very inspiring about 4 or 5 years ago. Could you please tell us? Just tell us, because that since then, if you remember, I've always followed up on you and just made sure, I give a platform to tell this story over and over again. Our story is very peculiar, and I want you to listen to that story. The moral of the story is this: even if you get yourself into financial mess, you can get yourself out. So, in case right now you're just wondering, like, Omo, not easy. Eventually, you go easy. Amen. Well, over to you, man.
All right, thank you. So, I qualified as a chartered accountant exactly 20 years ago. I left school 22 years ago, so I qualified about 22 years after I left school. For the records, I'm a fellow of ICANN, fellow of ACCA, I have CPA, I have MBA, I have all of those qualifications. And I got them way early. Now, the thing I'm trying to say is, going to school does not make you financially literate. There are PhD holders who are broke. MBA holders who are broke. And thank God we are in Lagos. Yet, go to Balogun Market. Women who did not even finish primary school, who are turning over billions on a monthly basis. Do you see? On a daily basis. That was my story. With all, I was glad they didn't read my profile because we'll still be reading it. With all of those qualifications, I was constantly broke, constantly battered. I would say I was a chartered accountant whose finances were scattered and shattered. Because we go to school, they teach us to be lawyers, accountants, doctors. Well, I don't know the age range of people here, but these days, yes, we're grateful they are teaching personal finance in school. In those days, there was no seminars like this. Church, just receive Holy Ghost. Just do this. Just come for a program. Nothing like personal finance. So I think it's a good place to clap for the organizers of this meeting. Like they're teaching you personal finance, they're teaching you about health. It wasn't obtainable back then. So I was earning about $500,000, maybe 17 years ago. Not married, but I was always broke. I was the head of finance department, the finance manager in my organization. And 2 days, 3 days, 4 days after salary, I was broke. I would write IOU, no shame. IOU. What was I using the money for? In retrospect, I didn't build a house. I couldn't. In fact, I thought I had money demons chasing me. Why am I saying this? Personal finance. Personal financial literacy is largely personal. One of the things that jolted me back into reality was a lady that was reporting to me. Now, she wanted to go to the UK then. And because I used to travel, maybe that was where my money is going. BA sales, 90,000, sir, to UK. Public holiday. Airborne, straight. 4 da's. US, I remember buying a Delta flight, Delta ticket for 90,000 to, where's that there up? Atlanta, B. That was what I was using my money for. As long as there was a holiday, hop on the plane. So this lady came to meet me because she knew I was always traveling. And she would say, Madam, please, I want to travel. Oh, please help me look at my documents and help me apply for a UK visa. I said, why not? So she brought all her documents. The first thing that attracted me was that she had about 4 million in mutual funds. This was about 15 years ago. And she was earning only about 50,000. Me, accountant, Oga, I didn't even have 100,000 naira in savings. And this was somebody earning 1/10 of what I was earning. I looked at her and I said, and this lady, when we were buying food at work, she will pack her food. You know, all of those little things here and there. Anyway, that jolted me back into reality, and I was like, okay, I will do it. I still didn't do it. When I was about to get married, I got tired, in quote, of my job. Who pays you $500,000 many years ago, and for no reason, you just feel like resigning? Because I thought I had all of those qualifications. I was like, oh, my boss did something. My white wedding was in the UK. My boss flew in for my wedding, just 2 days. Because I resigned just before I got married. And he was like, Shola, don't go. You're a destiny helper to me. I'm a destiny helper to you. I'm like, no, I'm going. Hoping that by the next month or 2 months after, I will get a job. And not like my husband-to-be and I discussed that we won't start having babies. You know, when you are financially illiterate, you do the dumbest thing ever. So we got married, honeymoon, came back. Reality setting. No savings. 500,000 a month. This thing. Came back. 1 month, 2 months, no job. Many interviews, no job. And then my husband, you know, sometimes you are like a Jonah. My husband's business too. At that time, till tomorrow, I would believe I was like a Jonah. His own business too. They took some decisions, and he was like ground zero. By the 3rd month, guess what happened? I got pregnant. No job, no money, pregnancy. Shame me that they did not employ when I was not pregnant. Anyway, and my own pregnancy was the type that by 4 weeks, my nose was big. Right, yes. So by 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, I said, God, never. So I started to learn about financial literacy. Earlier on, I said financial literacy is a combination of, number 1, mindset. Number 2, knowledge set. Number 3, skill set. And I started to learn those things. By the 6th month, God had mercy on me. They called me for a consultancy job. And by the time I did all of my, there's brain. In 1 month, I recovered about $1 million that they didn't even know people were owing them. So I had an appointment or appointment letter waiting for me after. Anyway, that's my story. But that 2, 3, 4 months took me from here, from somebody who had 500,000 at least in a salary account, to somebody who did not have 1,000 naira. It's not a good place to be in. Do you understand? So why am I saying this? It doesn't matter. With all my qualifications, I went through that tough time. And that's why I'm here today saying, guys, you don't have to go through my own situation. If you find yourself out of it, hey, you can bounce back. Now, I've gone back from having no 1,000 to investing in 8 digits. I leave you to do the maths. But I am saying that, guys, financial literacy, embrace it, knowledge. Let me leave you with this example to make you realize what financial illiteracy is. Now, one day, my house help, she didn't go to school. I was in VI, and I needed a document, time sensitive. I needed not just the document, but a number on the document. So I called the house, and I said, on this shelf, there's a paper there. There are about 4 series of numbers. I needed 1. And I said, can you read it? But because she was illiterate, she couldn't read it. And I missed that opportunity. That's what financial illiteracy does. You have gone to school, they have taught you to be an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor. Financial literacy is what will help you understand money. You know that you must not eat with your 10 fingers. You know that you must not resign. You shouldn't resign a job when you do not have savings. and they are not chasing you away, and you do not have another job in view. Do you see? Financial literacy will make you realize that, A, there is inflation. Oh, it might probably not be the time to be buying Ashebi when you have not sorted your children or your own school fees or your own bills for the next month. You see, when you sit down and look at some things you have done with money in the past, you will beat yourself. That's financial illiteracy. Do you see? So much to talk about, but
Thank you.
let's
Let's
talk
put our hands together. Thank you very much. I will go quickly to the next question for Bayo. Now, you see, I want to arrange this question this way. Now, in the process, talking about, her journey, she mentioned a couple of things that were eating up her finances, right? So now, tell us, this audience, that, okay, what are those things that you need to avoid, all right? What are those things that you need to avoid? Should I say avoid or manage? Not really avoid. What are those things you must manage, to make sure that your finances, are intact?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Is it clear enough? My question.
Yeah, it's clear. I'll just give you more clarity, because in one of my books, I have what I call financial stability.
Hold on.
Some checkpoints.
Now, that book is titled, please just show them.
Money Muscle.
Money Muscle. And it's, where is Akin?
It will be outside. It should be available outside.
If you want to buy any of the books, just, after the session, there will be someone outside, with the books. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just read those questions. It's a checklist. So if it affects you, take it and work on it. And I'll then summarize one or two things. Financial stability. So number one question. Do you owe people money? Do you owe money? Either personal or business loan. If you are in debt, check yourself. Number two, are you able to pay your bills ahead of time or as at when due? I mean, house rent, school fees, NEPA bill, PSCM bill, buy cards. I'm talking about put petrol in your generator. Those are bills. Are you able to buy food, enough food for your household and things like that? Number three, if you lose your job today or your business goes down, will you still be able to pay your bills? Will you still be able to afford to pay your house rent? Will you still be able to afford to send your children to school? Number four, do you still fight with your spouse over money? Do you still fight with your spouse over money, over food, over basic necessities? If it still happens, please sit down. Don't go anywhere. You need to listen. Number five, do you have adequate money saved up for emergency funds in case life happens? Whether you like it or not, life happens. Everybody has one emergency or another. It might not be you directly, but somebody close to you, that's still an emergency. And people look up to us for emergency situations. So Nigeria, we call it urgent 2K. Do you have urgent 2K to give to somebody? Do you have urgent 5K in case you are driving your car, there's a flat tire or the tire busted? Do you have money to quickly buy another one for replacement? That's what an example of emergency fund, okay? Number six, do you have enough money that you can give for charity purposes, to help family and friends, or to even give? Do you have enough money? Or after you collected your last salary, did you set aside your tithe and offering? Did you set aside what you will give to your parents? Did you set aside what, that's what I mean by that, by charity purposes. Number seven, are you scared of being able to afford your children's college fees? Your children are still in primary school. Are you already afraid that when they enter secondary school. How will I pay their school fees? If you are in that situation, please sit down. Don't go anywhere yet. Number 8. Do you have an active life insurance coverage in case life happens to you? As a matter of fact, I know that when we talk about life insurance, especially in Africa, they say, do you want me to die? I'm not going to die in Jesus' name. That's what we say. But life insurance is much more than death coverage. It has a lot of other benefits. If you are willing to learn about it, you can actually learn from an expert. It covers a lot of things. A lot of packages are available, even for your children's school fees. They are there. Little drops of water forms an ocean. All these questions, all it takes is for you to actually sit down. Most people, because money matters, are not taught in school as a subject. We only know the definition of money. After the definition of money, nobody talks about other things. What are those things that takes away money from our pocket? That's the question. Number one, in Nigeria, data and phone recharge cards. That's one. Number 2, ashwebi, clothes. The ones you will not wear after the event. Those are some of the things. Number 3, carelessness. When you carelessly invest in something that is actually a fraud and you don't know. Like playing Baba Jebu, Naira bets, football bet. There are different football bets now. Number 1. Another thing is when you do those things, you're actually wasting your money and you are squandering it. And the Bible says it's only a fool that squanders money. The fool squanders everything. So check yourself. What are those things taking away money? Some people, it's alcohol. It's alcohol. Every day they must drink. Not only alcohol. Some people, every day they must take soda. They must take Coke or Sprite or Fanta. Check yourself. Those habits that you can avoid to spend money on, that you're spending money on. Some people is cigarettes. Some people they have to hang out with friends. They have to buy things, different things. Must you hang out every evening? Check yourself. Is it every party you must attend? Because you want them to show you in the video, you are spraying money that you don't have. Check yourself. You want to go to Davido's show. You want to go. I'm not saying, though, plan what you will spend. But those little things are what takes money away from our pocket. Then, this month, after putting money away, this is left. In your family, you used to eat maybe chicken. And you know that money is not enough for chicken. You can actually go for fish. You will not die eating fish. So those are the things. Trying to meet up with other people. Those are the things that take away money from our pockets.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for him. For some people, especially young guys, it's also Uber fees. Are you at home? You will pay my Uber. Oh. Yeah, you know what I mean. Now, so all of those small things too, you need to cut them off. All right. There's a question here that says, what's your take on side hustle? So, Shola, you answer this. What's your take on side hustle to boost income? Now, if I have a good job, right? If I have a good paying job, should I bother about side hustle to boost my income? More like, how much money is even enough money? So for you, the way you are now, do you still have a side hustle? So just combine all of that together and then give us some practical examples.
I love the question. So you asked the question, you said, how much money is enough money? Maybe we should ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. What do you think? How much money is enough money? Should we ask the 10 richest men in the world? Because
Dangote is still the fine money.
Thank you. Dangote, $10, Alakija. They still they find money, right? You see them pivoting, not necessarily pivoting. You see them going, the world is not even enough. Now they are going into space.
Yep.
All in an attempt to make more
Money.
In Yoruba, I'm a Yoruba girl, they would say, Owo kinto, Olowo. So that answers that. What I'm saying in essence is, well, take greed aside, money is never enough at certain level. I mean, for Elon Musk, they may have money that will last their generation, Dangote, but these guys are still actively playing the money game because, let me attempt this question from a broader view, then I will bring it back home. Let me tell you something. Money is relative, and the value of money is relative. When MKO Abiola was alive, I remember that, how many of you know MKO Abiola? Gen Zs would not know. It's okay. But we heard about it. Are you Gen Z? You are not Gen Z, right? I remember a phrase that they said MKO Abiola said. He said, even if a devourer entered his money, there will still be more money. Now, I'm not saying this to demean anybody, but some of the projects, some of the businesses he had back then, how many of you remember? Concord Airline, right? Concord newspapers, this and that. Where are they today? A millionaire of 20 years ago in Nigeria cannot be a millionaire of today. Why? Devaluation. If you had, I was going through my passport, Madam Ajala. There was a time that I bought dollar at 120. And that was even expensive. I remember that I had done some transactions for my boss when dollar was less than 100. So if you had 120 times 1 million is what? Calculation, 12 million. Abi?
120 million.
No. 120 times 1 million is what?
120 million.
Yeah,
120.
120 million. So if you had 120 million, right, in let's even say late 1990s, you're a millionaire. What is 120 million today in dollars?
Divided by 560.
So 120 million will make you 1 million, a millionaire in dollars was what I meant, right? Because 120 million naira will buy you $1 million. Do you see it? But how much is 120 million today, sir, at 680 naira?
That's about $215,000.
Thank you, sir. Do you see? So your 120 million would have made you what? $1 million many years ago. But today it will only make you $200,000. So you see why the rich would always want to be richer. Because there are economic forces of inflation, of devaluation affecting you. Now, let me bring it back home. How many of you have enjoyed a salary increase in the last 2 years? Nobody is raising their hand. Okay, significantly. How many of you have gone to the market and the same things that you have bought have remained the same price since 2 years ago?
Not even sugar.
Not even sugar. Nothing. Now, prices are going up. Your salary is not going up. And you are saying you should not consider
Side hustles.
additional forms of income. So I have a problem with side hustle. I don't want to go with the term because I believe hustling is what it is. You are hustling, you are fighting. This money thing is not as difficult. I will come to the mindset bit. See, money is available. I tell people, money is energy. Money is like rain. Do you pray for rain before rain falls? You wake up in the morning, the day breaks. Money is also a tool for us to live an amazing life. When you master it, you will understand how to attract money. But let me go back. So rather than saying side hustles, I will say additional streams of income. When he was talking earlier on, he mentioned data, light, PHCN. Your expenses are multiple in nature. why would your income not be multiple in nature? Do you see? And there are personal finance risks, loss of job. Go to COVID here. Cast your mind back to COVID here. When people lost their jobs, when people lost their breadwinners, you cannot rely on just one source. So, I remember about 3 years ago, I used to make money from about 12 sources of income. And I can give you examples now. 12 sources. Because I just realized that you rely on just one income, something happens, there's no money. You have children. You have obligations. So I teach people in my community from the book, The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And it says you can make money from 4 quadrants. As an employee, number 1, as a self-employed, as a business owner, and as an investor. That is where you should play in. As an employee, somebody is paying you money for your time. You go to work, right? At the end of the month, they give you money. You are an employee. As a self-employed, you have gifts and talents that you can monetize. You go to work, yet you're a makeup artist. You're exchanging your time for money, but at your own pace. But it's risky because if you're only a self-employed person, if you're not feeling fine, what happens? No money. If you cannot carry your makeup bag for a party on Saturday because you have malaria, no money that weekend. He says as a business owner, you leverage other people's time. Where him, and myself and him, we can form a business. A business does not have to be brick and mortar structure. We can decide, you know what, let's supply this thing. You will be the marketer. You will be the accountant. I will be the person sourcing. We pull funds together, we pull resources together, people that you trust, and you do the business. And the last one is an investor, where you send your money to work. We know that investment quadrant is right now bearish. Now, personal examples. This time yesterday, I was in a class learning a skill. This time yesterday, that I am going to translate, that will translate into an additional business for me. Because if you're a Nigerian, hey, the odds are against you. You have bills in dollars. The odds are against you. We slept last week. I bought dollars at 610 last week. This morning, I called somebody for transfer. They said 695. People are saying by the end of the year, it will reach 1,000. I'm not the person that said so. Now, you say, but I'm not spending dollars. I don't have dollars. The people who are importing the things that you are buying, they are spending dollars. Do you see? So the prices of goods, even in America, sir, what's the inflation rate as of today? In November, it was about 5 point something, and they said
7%.
it's the highest in 40 years. As of today,
7%.
7%, even America. So it's not just a Nigerian thing. See, Nigeria is peculiar. Because of the Ukraine-Russia war, there are things happening. I tell people there are 3 economies that should concern you. Your personal economy, the national economy, the country where you are, and the global economy. When COVID happened in China, did it affect your personal finance or not? So you see, I have said all these things to make you realize that there are more things outside of your control. And that's why you have to brace up yourself. Don't complain. He says, you have abused Buhari since 8 years ago. What has that complaint done for you? So the things within your own control is the amount of money you make and the amount of money you spend to an extent. And I tell people, expenses are sacrosanct. Rent is sacrosanct. If you don't spend, you won't live. Yes or yes? So you may not be able to control your expenses, but you may be able to cut down on necessities, on things that are not necessary. But in terms of what you make, you can decide. Chartered accountant, 4 years ago, I went to learn how to do puff, egg roll, because I saw a gap where I consulted. In the afternoon, everybody was hungry. They would be complaining. Even if you brought your food, you're still hungry. So we're always sending somebody to Tasty, to Sweet Sensation. Then they will spend 1,000 naira for transport. So on my way home one day, I just saw a shop where they were selling snacks. And I went there, I said, tomorrow, Friday, I will come and buy snacks to resell. So you will give me a discount. So I bought. By the time I took it to work, within 1 hour, they had sold out. So on my way home, I went to meet them. I said, I'm not reselling. I want to learn. Saturday, Sunday, they came to my house. The girl taught me. By Monday, I started to sell snacks. So I tell people I'm not just a chartered accountant. I'm a chartered egg roll maker. Chartered donut maker. Because the truth of the matter is, a credit alert, no matter how small, is always better than a debit alert. If you want to buy something that is 5,000 and you have 4,999 naira in your bank account, what will happen? Transaction decline. So a 1 kobo at that point will move you forward.
That's right.
So don't be ashamed of anything. Additional income. I was in a training yesterday and I'm like, I was glad I paid for it. It was one of the best investments I've done this year. And by the time I start to make money from it, you will hear about it. Do you see? So multiple streams.
Some of you want her to tell you that training, have you?
I will tell you. I've told you one. I don't do snacks again because I just wanted to see, I teach what I do. If I tell you do multiple, you say, Ma, what have you done? For 2 years, I lead a community of women. I mentor them. I have an investment club as well. So I tell them the things that I do. The money I was making weekly will buy fuel into my car. I use an SUV. Then, still now, I fill my tank once a week. So when you take fuel out of your list or transportation, it's okay. And it was just a side also, like you called it, an additional stream. And I still had extra money. If I give you 5,000 naira today, is it small money? So if a business was making me about 100,000 per week, was that small money?
No.
That was then. What are you saying? So it is not a matter of should I do small hustles, or should I do side or front or back or left or right hustles. If you are okay with your financial life as it is, congratulations. But if you think there is more and there can be more, and you want to attain stability, you don't hear a knock on your door and you're like, hey, landlord has come. You are not afraid they will send your children back home from school. You are not afraid that, hey, NEPA credit is finished. You need to embrace what? Let's go back to the Bible. Genesis. How many streams? Flowed from Eden. Open your Bible and read it. Some people are saying 7, some people are saying 4. You are in church. Oh, you open Bible and check. Multiple streams, less stress, less headache. I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you.
You want to add something?
Okay, I'll just add a little bit. As of today, if you don't want to do anything, using the parable of the talent, you know, the master gave 1 5. He gave to the other 2. He gave to the last one 1. The first 2 went to multiply the money. They went to work, put it to work. So put your money to work. The last one refused to put the money to work. He dug a hole and buried it. Some of us have money in the bank. We have money in our bank accounts. Right now, it's good to have money in your bank accounts as of today. But the least you can do, like this master told the servant, he said, you should have done what? Put it in the bank account in like a fixed deposit that will multiply. So my advice to you, if you have money, you don't know what to do with it yet, change it to dollars. Change it to dollars. Before I flew to Nigeria, dollars was 5. I'm talking about last week. It was 5.95. Today, that dollar is 650. Oh, no, 3 days ago, I don't know what is it today. I'm not. 6 what? 680. Yeah, 695, 680. It varies. But you know what? If you change your money, just calculate it. If it's only $500 that your money is, last week is how much? This week is how much? It has gained $1. Your $1 has gained 100 naira. Just in 1 week. So learn to study the trend and know what currency you are holding. Currency is power. That's why it's current. It flows. That's why it's called current. Like the ocean current. It flows. So don't let your money flow to another person because naira is depreciating every day. That's one thing. Another thing is if you are able to put it out to work, put it out. Like she said, I like that egg roll thing. Another thing is setting up a system. You must, as I'm here, not in the US, I'm still making money. I'm making money in dollars and naira while here because I have people to change money.
Okay.
I have naira. People want to change their dollar to naira. I change it for them at a certain percentage. So I do that. I'm not losing. Every day, your brain must work to make money. Because every day, whether you like it or not, you spend money. We spend money on a daily basis. You must learn to make money on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, the best kind of money to make is when you are sleeping. And your money is working for you. But you are sleeping. While you are sleeping, while you are taking your rest, you can still send your money to work for you. You see, education, I will finish this session by saying, education is man teaching man. Insight is God teaching you. God can teach you where to put your money per time, and you will never lose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together. Okay, for those of you who are asking themselves right now, so if I convert my money to dollars, how am I sure the dollar will not start depreciating? My answer to you is this. So far, God in Emefiele is still CBN governor. That naira, that dollar is not coming down. It will still go, it will continue going up.
No,
Don't mind me, don't quote me. Don't quote me, but I'm just telling you. All right. Now, the next question is this, guys. There is this quote I saw on Twitter that says, now who don't believe fool, they save. Now, that's a mindset. Now, first of all, let me ask you. Shey na who don't believe fool, they save? Answer, don't be shy. Shey na who don't believe fool, they save now? If you are hungry, are you going to be saving money? No, I need reaction. If you are hungry, will you be saving money? So last, who don't believe fool, now they save, abi? Yes. So now that's a mindset. Now you may, like honestly speaking, it's the major. At the point I had that mindset. All right, that I beg. Now who don't believe fool, they save. After all, Jesus is coming again. Nobody go carry house, go heaven. You know. So what would you say to this audience today to help us come out of that mindset? You would start, then you add to it. What would you say? Because it affects you if you think now who don't believe who they save. Honestly speaking, human wants, human needs are insatiable, abi. So once you have money, there will always be need. There will always be the hunger. So what would you say to us who think now who don't chop believe food, now they save?
Thank you very much. I love that question. If somebody is sleeping beside you, please wake the person.
I don't think anyone can sleep.
His money matters. Nobody is sleeping yet anyway. Okay, so number one, whatever you do with your 1 naira, that is the same thing you are going to do with 10 million naira.
Say that again.
Whatever you do, if you earn 1 naira, that is the same thing you are going to do when you are earning 10 million. It's discipline. For every child, you must teach them that when you are given 1 naira, you must not spend it all. It starts from there. That's how my parents taught us, especially my mom. When they give you 1 naira, we have what is called kolo. You have to drop it in the kolo first. Then you now tell her what you want to do with that money. And in that money, she makes sure we remove tithe. And she makes sure we save 20 naira till the end of the year. The others we can spend. That's a principle that is biblical. I will tell you where. The story of Joseph. When God gave him the wisdom to interpret the king's dream. No other person had that interpretation. That is insight. God taught him the interpretation. And what was his interpretation? He said, 1/5 of all the increase should be saved. If you are not, even if you are earning 1,000 and you are not saving 200 out of it, you are not keeping God's rule. You can never be financially stable. At least 20% must be retained out of that money. I know that when I started working, I've been working since maybe 2000 or something. I will always save. It's not because I went to America that I'm financially, I won't say I'm totally stable, because money not they rich. It's a current, it flows. But I will tell you that I'm not afraid of nothing when it comes to money, because I know how it works. So the basis is this. When you know how to manage 1 naira, that's why the Bible says, if little is committed into your hands and you are not able to manage it, how will I now commit unto you resources of others? Talk less of God's own resources. So learn to manage 1 naira. It's not every money that comes your way that you must spend. As a matter of fact, I know that there are some days you don't make money. Did you die? There are some days that you did not spend money. You don't have money to spend. Did you die? So why should you spend everything when you now have it in a day? So the first principle is called the dollar principle or a naira principle. $1, 1 naira. Never spend everything. If you cannot cultivate that discipline, God will not give you millions. If you learn to manage 1 naira, God will give you, like, when I say God gives you, that means God will connect you. God can change your job. God can change your business or bring people to partner with your business. As a matter of fact, I would say, using the story of Pa Sanders, the one for KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was broke. This man was broke for 65 years of his life. He was depressed. He went through what you are going through, what I went through, or what I'm going through. He went through what everybody is going through. But at the age of 65, he sat down. He wanted to commit suicide. But he stopped. The Holy Spirit, if anyone here is at the edge of giving up, the Lord will give you hope. Amen. Never give up. This 65-year-old man sat down and took an account of his life. When he took an account of his life, he said, I've tried so many things, it has failed. Tried this business, failed. He has been sent out of 3 or 4 jobs in his life, like they sacked him. But when he sat down, he now said, what is it that I can do better than others? Or that I'm good doing at? And he realized that he could fry chicken. So maybe as at that point, he still had maybe $1 to purchase raw chicken. He purchased it. He fried it. Maybe he had not eaten that day. I'm just making an analogy now. But he refused to eat that chicken that he fried. He decided to go and sell it. He sold 1 chicken first. His neighbor bought it. He took that money. Instead of spending the money to meet his immediate needs, he went to buy more chickens. He fried it. Everybody on his street started buying chicken from him, fried chicken. Why? Because they could not fry the way he fries, one, or they were too busy to fry chicken. After selling on his street, he started selling to his neighborhood. Then later, that's why it's called Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was known in Kentucky. He opened 1 store and started selling. He got the money, the chicken sales made profit. He decided to get a shop. He started from his house. So many people, you want to start a business, you went to rent a shop first. You are making a mistake. Start from your home, if it's businesses like that. After that, opened one. Later, opened the second. Later, some people came to him and said, we want to also be part of your success. And they invested. Later, people started buying franchise. Today, Kentucky Chicken is in my village, Ibadan. All the way from US. Go to any continent, you will see Kentucky Fried Chicken. Remember, this man was 65 years old. He was about committing suicide. But the Lord changed his story. God will change your story in the name of Jesus.
All right. So, the $1, $1 principle just explains it all. Now, when I teach about savings, here are a few things I tell people. Proverbs 21:20 says, there is oil desirable in the house of the righteous, but a foolish man spends it all. The Bible said so. Anybody who spends it all, the Bible says the person is a foolish man. That's number one. Now, number two, I like this Japanese proverb that says that if you save money, money will save you.
That's it.
Yeah. That's another thing. Now, when I teach savings, I tell people that, and that's what it said, which summarizes the whole essence. People wait till when they earn so much. That's when they want to save. And I say, hey, saving teaches you consistency. Investing teaches you tenacity. The beauty of savings is that on a monthly basis, you're able to pull out your earnings, say 100,000. I don't know why I'm using 100,000. It's not as if I'm saying people here don't earn more, but just for example reasons. If you are not able to keep 20,000 out of 100,000 and remove it consistently, so saving is not today you save 50,000. That was what I used to do. Out of 500,000, I will quickly go and put 300,000 in one account, and I will say I've saved. Within 2 weeks, I've touched it. But if I was doing only 100,000, which is 20%, every month, I'm closing my eyes to it. By now, I should be on the 10 richest people list by the power of compound interest. That was just a joke. So, saving money is not just about the money. The art of saving is about consistency. And that's what you need to master. See, this personal finance thing, I like that his book says money muscles, Abi.
Money muscle, money insight.
It's about building muscles, personal finance.
That's it.
You save 20% today. Next month you save 20%. You are building the muscles. If you don't have the muscles, you will fall. You will be flabby. So, this session is talking about budgeting. Let me give you a practical example and how you can inculcate saving into your budget. When I was coming here today, I live in Lagos, but you will think I live abroad. Google Maps, by the way, I just came back from the US last week. So Google Maps is like my companion. From my house, I live on the mainland, I work on the island, VI. My office is in VI. Every day, I will not leave my house without knowing what Google Maps is saying. For example, today, I wanted to leave at 10. He said it will take me 44 minutes because there's an 18-minute congestion on 3rd Mainland. I'm like, lie. Let me see till 10:30. 10:30, I checked. 18-minute congestion had become 12 minutes. I said, let me wait a bit. Because I knew that I still had time. I'm not saying go and be checking your map and say, she said if there's congestion, we won't set out. Don't go and lose your job. So by the time it was about 5-minute congestion on my map, I set out. And there was no traffic. That's what budgeting does for you. When I got to Lekki, I was looking for, what's the name of this street? Ubonu, something. My maps was saying, okay, turn right, turn left, turn right. The person where no road, where ask road, no go lost. Abi? So he kept saying, this is turn left, turn right. Then I got to the edge of that road. He said, you have arrived. I look at the street. I am right, I'm here. I called him, I can't see you. This same Google Maps, so now took me like this to the main road. Eventually did what? He brought me here. I arrived safely. That's what a budget does. income. These are your excess, your surplus, or your deficit. If you don't make more, you will borrow to meet up your obligations. Or if you have excess, you're fine. What a lot of us do is, after you have spent the money, you will now be writing it down. That's not budgeting, which is what I used to do. Budgeting is you write it out before you spend. And I tell people, I mean, this is not common, whatever. Yeah, it might not be commonly acceptable. I don't budget every month. I budget maybe once in 3 or 6 months because except my financial circumstances change, the same budget in January, or except cost of goods and services change, which I would know by reviewing, I don't have to keep. So people get inundated and say, I budgeted last month. What are we even budgeting? Where's the money? Have an idea. Now, let's drill down into budgeting. I teach the 50-30-20% rule. 50% of your income should go into your necessities. Sir, I even say 30% savings. Then, which is the modified rule? There's a 50-30-20 rule, which says 50% into your necessities, 30 into your wants, and 20 into your savings. But I teach 30 into your savings, 20 into your wants. Now, 50 is need to have necessities, 30 savings, or whichever works for you. But the 20% for your wants, what does it stand for? We work so hard, so hard, so hard. You realize you are 40, you are 50, you haven't done anything for yourself. Because the system is designed to collect from you. From taxes, to family members, to church members sometimes, God forgive me, to everybody. Everybody wants to get from you. And you realize that you are the engine. You are not taking care of yourself. So I tell people, me, I am not a finance coach that will say don't spend money on yourself. Spend, like he said, but plan for it. So ladies, guys, 20%. I have a friend, every month, once she earns a salary, she takes herself to a restaurant. Every month. And she will say, spirit, soul, body, you have done it again this month. Enjoy this food. Let's do it again next month. Take care of yourself. So yours might not be food. That's the 20%. Yours might be a bag. Yours might be a shoe. Yours might be anything. But I'm not saying, she has said we should take care of ourselves. You're not going to spend 80%. I can't keep, you only live once, YOLO. So plan it. Those are the things that will not allow you burn out. Those are the things that will not make you see savings as something impossible. Take care of yourself, but save and then take care of your necessities. To summarize it, saving money is helping you to build consistency muscles. And when you get used to it, you save 20,000 whilst earning 100,000. You will save 200,000 when you earn 1 million. At 1 million. And you will save 2 million when you earn 10 million. That's how. Don't wait till when you are earning 1 million so that you will save more. If you don't save it from your 1 naira, sir, you will save it from your 10,000. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for them. Now, do we have questions? Because I'm almost, if you have any question, okay. It's not now.
Let them write it down.
Yeah, so if you have any question, write it down because we are looking at the time. So write your question down and then I'll ask someone to come get it. All right? Now, we want to look at the 2 books.
Can I add to what she said before?
Okay, yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I know I did a presentation. It's even on, you can go to my website, wealthyconsortium.com. You see some videos. I used to do some videos then. And there's one I titled Budget, which is, to me, the definition of budget is money compass or money map. So you can also add it to be money Google or Google Maps. So what budget does is this. It shows you the end from the beginning. It helps you not to spend what you don't have. The problem with us is that we spend what we don't have and we attach it to faith.
God will provide.
God will provide. Even in ministry, so many pastors do that. That's why they fall out. There is a place of faith. There is a place of planning. Even the Bible says it. He who wants to build a house sits down first to plan, to know how much it's going to cost you. That's budgeting. You might not have the whole amount, but when you know what it will cost you, you can now say, from this month, this is how much I'll be putting aside to achieve this goal of building a house in 2 years, in 3 years, or in 5 years. If you don't sit down to count the cost, you will not know how much it's going to cost you, and you will not know when you can finish it. And when you know that this thing is big, or okay, I would like to finish it in 5 years, but what I have on ground, or what I'm projecting, it helps you to project. What I'm projecting will finish it in 7 years. Then God will come with divine intervention to move on your behalf because you have planned. God will not bless anything that is unplanned. God will only bless that which you have planned. I remember opening an ARM account when I was earning only 50,000 naira. My friend, Discovery, it's called Discovery Fund. There's money market now. There's different things. Then I was only saving 5,000 in that account. I've never withdrew from that account. Today I've stepped it up. I know I save in double figures now, not just 6 digits now. In that account, I've never touched it since 2008. Since 2000, let the heavens fall, I won't touch it. That was how determined I was when I started. And I put money there every month. I know what it has grown to be. There is a way savings that is done consistently every month or every day. It takes care of any kind of recession that might come. It takes care of it. That's why some people like Warren Buffett, they keep investing even when shares fall. That's even the best time to buy shares. So don't be afraid to start saving from your 1,000 naira. God will grow that 1,000 to 1 million. If you are consistent, disciplined, and you are willing to continue it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Now, so Shola, in your book, just one question from the book. Now, the book is titled 40 Frugal Rules for Your Financial Journey. For your journey to financial freedom. Now, in this book, you mentioned 40 rules. Now, out of those 40 rules, we cannot run through them because of our time. Even if we do one per minute, it still won't be enough. So just in a summative form, yeah. Which 10 are most important? Or if not necessarily 10, which ones are like the most that you think this audience today will need? What should this audience do for us to start our journey to financial freedom?
All right, thank you. So in that book...
Get your pens, guys. Get your pens. It's time to write down.
So I'm just going to summarize. In that book, I wrote 40 simple personal finance tips, right? To just help you navigate your personal finance. So I did A to Z. So that's why I listed them A, B, 40 things. In no particular order. If you ask me to mention 10, we already talked about some of them. A is there's accountability, there's automate your finances. I would say, automate your finances, leverage technology. This is an age where you can use an app to budget. Do you see? Leading me to the second one. You can use an app, so many apps. So many personal finance saving platforms. He mentioned PiggyVest. I run an investment club. We have our own web-based app. We are building a full-fledged app. So leverage technology to make money. Leverage technology to save. Leverage technology to invest. I do not want to mention names so that I don't, It doesn't look as if I'm advertising for anybody. But automate your personal finances. Don't say, I don't understand what they're saying with this technology. I don't want to use it. If there are apps on your phone, it should be apps that should help your productivity and your finance. It shouldn't just be social media. App that helps you journal. Apps that help you calculate your budget. Apps that help you invest. Apps that help you save. Right? So I will touch on that. We already talked about budgeting. That's another B. Let me move to basic things. My C says, cook more, eat out less. Just simple rules. 1D says, dodge debts, like avoid debts. Diversify, emergency funds. You already mentioned it. Talk about family finances, get a finance advisor, housing, holiday tips, hide the raise. There's nothing I can say or that I will say that we have not talked about. Encourage you, get the book if you can. Right? Talked about live intentionally, talk about medicals, talk about savings, investing. Now, this is what I do, or what I did. Some of these points, if you go on my social media page, Instagram to be specific, Shola_Adeshakin, no H, SOLA_ADESAKIN. There's a link to a set of free ebooks that my community or Smart Stewards, my company, has put together, talking about dissecting these things. You can download it, or you can buy the book. You can buy the e-copy on Amazon. It's all my books, 8 books are on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. Or you can buy here. I think I bought a few copies in the car. Do you see? But on my social media handle, if you check it out, there's a link that says download some free finance books that you can just read on the go. But again, I'm not advocating free. I'm just saying go for knowledge. But out of the 40 rules, what would I say is not the most important, but one thing that jumps at me is a K. And if you think about it, it's knowledge. You can only rise to the level of what you know. And he said something brilliant. He said, knowledge is what we teach you. Insight is what God teaches you. But do you know that even God rides on the knowledge that you have? The Holy Spirit won't just appear to you and say, mutual funds, if you have not interacted with mutual funds. Do you see? The Holy Spirit won't just say real estate or bonds or go and buy shares on bamboo if you do not know what bamboo is. So knowledge is such an important thing that you can build on, that God can build on. I call it awareness also. You must continue to embrace knowledge in this aspect of personal finance. Embrace knowledge. Keep reading YouTube videos, paid courses, and all of those things. It will single you out, and you'll become more versatile as you read. So that's it for me.
All right, thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Shola. All right. Now, on Bayo's book talks about this particular one, Money Insight. Very insightful stuff, and most of it rooted in the Bible. Now, the question I will be asking you here is, one of it says that you wrote it in your book that you earn from 4 quadrants, all right? And yeah, you mentioned it earlier a bit, but I want you to now, bring it out. Okay. I want you to now talk about the 4 quadrants and even give us examples how you are earning from each of those 4 quadrants. There may be someone here who will just take a cue from you.
Okay, thank you very much. How many of us know about the 4 quadrants? Robert Kiyosaki. So if you have not read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, go and read it. Those are the ABCs of finance, or money management, so to say. So I remember I read that book first about 20 years ago. The book has been in existence. So the second book I will recommend for you to read, apart from our books, go and read The Richest Man in Babylon. Those 2 books, powerful. Okay? So that's where I saw the 4 quadrants. And it opened my eyes to know that God has created us not just as a zombie, but as an individual who can multiply things. The first law in the Bible is not the 10 Commandments. The first law in the Bible says, be fruitful. Second law, multiply. Third law, replenish the world. Fourth law, have dominion. If you don't keep those 4 laws, you can never have dominion. You can never be wealthy. You can never be rich. Let's put it that way. So, I could relate those 4 laws to the 4 quadrants in Robert Kiyosaki's book. Of course, I went to school. I'm a trained nurse. I went to school in Ife. I'm a registered nurse in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, nurses don't make too much money. Except, even those in oil company don't make much money. Again. So that is one aspect. What you learned in school, you can use it to make money by getting a job. So I'm employed as a registered nurse. And I would say I'm favored. I was able to travel to America where I can use that knowledge to make more money. Okay? An average nurse in the US, in case you are interested in doing nursing, go and do nursing. No? Many people travel out, they still go and do nursing to get some other things done. An average nurse in America, as of today, makes nothing less than $100,000. You can times that one to know what it is in Naira. Okay? That is one. As an employee, that's called the E quadrant. She talked about it also. So I make money from that quadrant. I give my time out, and they pay me for my time. I can tell you how much I make every second if I go to work. I can tell, so I know how much I will make in a year. That's why I gave you the average salary of nurses in America who worked for about 2,000 hours in a year. If you work 2,000 hours, you make nothing less than $100,000. Okay? That is one aspect. The next quadrant is called what? The S quadrant. Self-employed. Self-employed. She talked about going to learn how to make egg rolls. That is, and she employed herself to make the egg rolls. So for me, in the S quadrant, I went for a training in life insurance. I'm a life insurance broker. I teach people financial literacy through life insurance. As a matter of fact, life insurance is the same thing in all countries, but with different portfolios and different benefits. Learn that of Nigeria. I know in Nigeria because I have life insurance both in Nigeria and abroad. But I'm a broker. I sell it. Okay? So anytime I'm not at work and I'm at work and I'm at home, I can sell life insurance. Okay? So I'm employed. I employed myself to sell life insurance. Okay? Another thing now is if you look at my backyard in America, I have a small coop. I just started that one. I have some chickens there. When I'm off work, I go and take care of my chickens. They lay eggs for me. I sell eggs from my home to my colleagues at work. So very soon, I know that one too will grow. And I'll start to sell eggs to supermarkets in America. Okay? So, but start small. I started with four chickens. Okay? And my daughters are joining me to do that now. They are the ones managing it. Okay? So that is S quadrant. You can, whatever skill you have, put it to work. Let people pay you for that skill. That is S quadrant. Then B quadrant, that is business quadrant. As a business person, okay, as a matter of fact, while I was in School of Nursing, I was also a photographer. So while people were taking their girlfriends out, I don't have one, so I take them pictures. I make money from that. I was making money from that. I made, while in Ife, while in Babcock, I was making money. All through my student life, I was making money. Okay? So for the B quadrant, what I do is, right now, I have a farm. I have some. I started with, I just started that one, but let me say, the first business I set up was actually a pure water factory, sachet water factory. It's making money from that. Then I have, of course, another business now, poultry. I have chickens in Nigeria, in Ibadan. We sell frozen chicken and we sell live chicken. I have about 15 staff working with me right now on that project, okay? I started that business with 5,000 naira. I think I've shared it here before. I started that business with 5,000 naira. Today, of course, it's no longer in thousands. Okay? That is one business making money every day. I've shared two businesses now, okay? Then the third one now is, okay, another one is I write books and I sell books. I sell my books. As a matter of fact, Money Insights Launch. The money from Money Insight Launch is the one I invested in my cow business. I have cows now. I started with 3 cows. Now there are 5. There are 6, but we lost 1. So in business, you can lose money, but you will gain more money along the line. It might cost you now, but it will be profitable on the long run. Okay, that is the B quadrant. Then let's go to the I quadrant, which is the most important quadrant. You can start from the E, and your goal is to get to the I. The I quadrant, you can also start even right now, is that I have portfolios in mutual funds. Like I told you I started one in 2008 with ARM. That one is growing. I have with insurance companies. I have nothing less than 10 portfolios where I put resources every month. Savings, that's where I put my savings. Put your money and let registered, approved companies multiply your money for you. Registered, approved, tested, and proven. That's where you should put your money. Especially, those are called investment portfolios. Then I also have a family friend. They have their own business. They borrow people money. They borrow what? People money. The people that need money, especially government employees, bankers. So they borrow them money for a certain percent in return. Then they also have the other aspect of it, which is the investors aspect. You can bring your money, give your money to them. They will give you 2 to 5%, depending. That's every month, and they borrow those money. They lend those money out and collect certain percent. So they share profit. So you can invest in other people's business, and you get profit sharing from that business. That is an investment. You can buy mutual funds. You can invest in bonds. You can invest in, some people go crypto. I hope crypto will not cripple people too much. If you don't understand it, don't put your money there. If you understand it, go all the way. Okay? So that is for the I quadrant.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for him. All right, so we have, apart from personal finance coaches, we have serial investors in our midst. So we have a couple of questions here. Now, if you've written your question, look for a way to pass it on to me. We have just 17 minutes. Now, the first question I'll read here. Okay, a call came in from London asking for the price of the books. So I don't know, maybe...
It's on Amazon.
Okay, so, if you are still
There's
listening...
Amazon UK.
Yeah, our online audience, if you are still listening, please. It's on Amazon. The title of the books... So, in fact, the best way is to search for the name. Search for their name. So we have Mr. No, let's not use titles. It is Bayo Sholademi. Am I pronouncing it well?
Yeah, Bayo Sholademi.
Okay, Bayo Sholademi and Shola Adishakin. Just search for them. They have several books, on Amazon, and you can get the prices there. Thanks for listening to our online audience. Please, if there are questions on YouTube, Zoom, and other channels, please help us write it out and pass it on quickly. One of the questions here is, what is the place of tithe and offering in budgeting? That's one. Then the second question is, so Shola, maybe you should handle the two. So Madam Shola, please give us more insight about your 12 stream of income.
All right, let me start from the second one. So 12 streams, yes, there's nothing wrong in listing them. I could list them. I mean, these days, as I've gotten busier, I have compounded, sort of collapsed and all of those things. But I used to call them my 12 C's. So the first one was my career path, which meant I could practice my accounting job. So I had a job, and even subsequent to that, I found jobs that were along the line of what I studied. Because these days, you see people who study zoology and who are working in banks. What are you going to do with that zoology? You can't allow it to waste now. Do you understand? So I am a chartered accountant, but most times I practice other things apart from accounting. And I felt I was leaving money on the table. But I mean, my annual subscriptions, don't forget, ICANN Fellow, ACCA Fellow, CPA Canada, CFEI America, intense subscriptions annually. So I'm like, so this is what I'll be doing, and I will not be practicing accounting. So your career path, or whatever you studied in school, find a way of making it as well. So I consult. I have a couple of clients and, of course, individuals that I consult for. So career, that's number one. Number two, consulting. Now, consulting not necessarily in what you have studied in school. By reason of expertise, by reason of practice, you become an expert in some things. Do you see? And just add a bit of qualification, certification here and there, and you become more versatile with it. So consulting. Some of you can conveniently consult in the things that you have done over time. Oh, okay. All right. So that's consulting. That's number two. My confectionery business. Can you see the trend? The C's. Now, my confectionery business was also a stream for me. But like I said, I have compounded, I have collapsed because of time, some of those things. So confectionery, these days, I will do based on special, if I have to. So at that time, I did set up a system around it, employed one or two people, but if you are not there sometimes, except you build proper structures and it is something you really want to scale, there will be issues of quality and all of that. And I thought to myself, do I really want to scale? Do I want to be known as a confectioner or as a caterer? I'm like, no way. So I sort of sidestepped it. That's number 3C. Number 4C, this will make you laugh. Catering. Yes. So at some point, I used to be in the US for extended period of time. Each time I went to a Redeemed church, every Sunday, they were always celebrating something. If it's not something for newcomers, it will be baby dedication. And then I had a friend who was a caterer. A foil tray of jollof rice, then $200, $250. Chicken. I'm like, how can this be? What's the cost? So I came back home and I went to learn catering. Can you believe? Chartered accountant not turned caterer, but it was one of the skills. So at that point also, I built a small system around it, and I was also doing catering, right? These days, I mean, I can't do that with all of the things I do. So that's how many C's? 4 C's. My 5th C was what I called creative arts. I am gifted with animations and the gift of creativity. So I went to learn how to design and build websites. Yes. Wake
Let's
me
put
up.
our hands together. Come on, guys.
I can create from beginning scratch to end a website for you. Do you understand? But I don't do it these days to make money. We have a business registered in the US, and it's a franchise, and we open small businesses, we register small businesses for individuals from around the world. In case you're interested, go to my social media page. Smart Stewards also is our company handle, or smartstewards.com, and you'll see those services. So most times when the banks in America would not want to open an account for people, they say you don't have a website. Quickly, with my team, 1-page, 2-page website, up and running. With all of this Stripe integration, Paystack integration, and all of those things. I think you should clap for me. So that's number 5C, right? Now, number 6 is, so you can say I'm not just, cooking up stories. There are things that I've done that have worked for me. Number 6, courses. Courses and trainings. On our Smart Stewards Academy, I think we've got over 100 courses on personal and business finance. Just yesterday, you said something like insurance, and you are going to be my plug, sir. I'm going to see you. We have courses on different areas of personal finance. We have a course on insurance, but because our clients are all over the world, in our investment club, we've got members in about 35 countries. We have people in the US. So we had to sort of make the insurance course. And I was just reading about life insurance just yesterday to show you that awareness is important. Not knowing I would meet somebody who practices, So courses, personal finance courses, business courses, short courses that you can buy for as low as $10, $20 on our site. So if you go to smartstewards.com, it will take you there. That's number 6C. Number 7, conference speaker. Do you see? Because I like to play with words. Yes, I do. This is what I'm doing here. I speak at corporate conferences. This year, I'm speaking at Total, I'm speaking at Slum BJ, I'm speaking at different conferences. I speak at churches, locally, globally. Last week, I spoke at a church in Ireland, virtually. I've spoken at churches in Canada. I've spoken at churches in the US. So I'm a conference speaker, and of course, they pay me speaking fees. How many C's? So I need help. It's when I leave now.
Maybe, don't worry.
So let him talk. I will remember the next set.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I don't think you should go all the way to 12 because of our time. See, my hands are full with questions. And then there's something...
buy our books.
Yeah,
go and buy my books.
Exactly.
Follow me on social media too.
So a new twist just came on. So Pastor just told me now that someone who's watching online that asked about the cost of the books. Okay, Pastor, over to you.
Okay. A friend of mine watching online said to me that he wants to. What's the cost of your book? How many did you bring today?
Maybe about 20 or 30.
Okay.
But they're on Amazon.
Yeah, no. So what we are doing is we're going to give out. He's going to buy 10 of yours and 10 of yours. And then he wants to give it to people that are here.
Wow.
So you might be qualified to get a book if you answer a question correctly. It's not going to be, it's not free, So you have to be able to answer a question correctly. People are watching. He's watching from Europe. He's watching from Europe, and he says, wow, that he likes what's going on, and he wants to contribute to it, And he's going to buy his own on Amazon, But to want people that are here, so Brother Terry is going to answer some questions. Ask some questions, and if you can get it, you'll be able to get a book. So Pastor B, give us your book. 10. Let me know how much it cost. They were asking. They're also asking for the cost of the book.
5,000 per copy. That's mine. I don't know how much. Same thing. Okay.
5,000 per copy. Did you hear that? But you can buy a book with 5,000 and then make 5 million.
Absolutely.
So knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So, is there any discount for this conference? Discount?
Yeah.
Discount?
Discount, yes.
Yeah.
For me, 4,000.
No, so that they can buy. So they can buy. So give us some discounts for the conference this afternoon if you can buy.
Because I'm part of Victory Sanctuary and I'm here, this is home, I'll do my books for 3,000.
3,000. After the conference, it will go up again, no? So, opportunity. Eh? Yours. Follow suit. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please, you have the opportunity to get those books. Now, after today, if you buy online or this, it's up. God bless you all.
Let's put our hands together for Pastor. We have...
Thank you, sir.
And then let's put our hands together for the discount. Come on, guys. Clap very well. And then let's put our hands together for the donor. And we have 20 books to grab in 6 minutes. Now, I still have questions to ask. So how do we do it? Let's wrap up with the questions then. Probably you ask some questions. Or what do you think? Just a few questions and then randomly we bless people here. He says, so you just go fast. Is it okay to start a business with loans? Who wants
To start a business.
Yes, to start a business with a loan.
Don't start a business with loan. Start with what you have. Then later, as the business grows, if you want to grow it bigger, you can now access a loan. You don't borrow money for what you have not started. You are heading for the rocks. Borrow money only when it has been proven that it works. When you start making profit. If you have not made any profit from that business, don't expand it.
That was straight to the point. Let's put our hands together. Okay, you want to add? Okay.
No, I have a book titled The Real Profit. So many things for small business owners. And I talked about 4 ways that you can raise funding for your money. My exact sentiment. That's another good book to have.
All right. Thank you very much. This one is grammar. It's kind of complex. So the concept of savings, is it the quantum of income or otherwise? You get the way it be. Do you guys understand? I don't know.
Yes, I understand. Okay. Is it the quantum? That's the amount. Don't wait for when you have the whole money to save. Okay. Start from that 1 naira. The principle of 1 naira. Save 20 kobo from 1 naira. So if you have 1,000, save 200 from it. If you have 10,000, save 2,000 from it. And by the time you start growing like that, it compounds because you're putting it, you're not just saving it in your house. You're saving it in the bank or with an investment company. Like I said, those mutual funds, you're putting it, they are growing little by little. By the time you start putting money over the years, it would have come together and you can pull it out to start a business. That's one way of raising funds for your business.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So the next one is, how can you put your money in a fixed deposit? Please explain, and then please explain bonds and how to buy them. That's going to take long.
No,
Is there a fast way to explain
it? It won't take long.
Okay.
Let me say, number one, if you want to know about fixed deposits, you have to visit your bank. Banks offer fixed deposits. So visit your bank, ask for the rate, interest rate. You can it's negotiable sometimes, depending on the amount you're bringing to the table. Then when it comes to bonds and other things, also ask from the bank. They know much more about it. Ask from the banker.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
So bonds, bonds is like you lending to the government. Yeah. Bonds, treasury bills, treasury certificates. When the government needs money, they come to you to say, we are issuing bonds. So treasury bills are short term in the sense that they are not more than 1 year, but bonds are longer in nature. Now, when they are denominated in dollars, that's when you have euro bonds. So bonds is the government saying, I want to borrow money from you. And I usually like to say that, see, when the Bible says you will lend to nations, it's not far-fetched. Most of you, some of you here, have lent to the Nigerian government already. Yeah,
by buying bonds.
By buying bonds.
All right, thank you very much. I didn't even know you guys would break it down so easily. The next one is if you are self-employed and you are not breaking even yet, should you pay yourself a set salary every month?
Salary is not static. For self-employees, if you are the only one employing yourself for your business, you don't place yourself like say 100,000. You have to do it based on percentage. How much percent you want to give yourself to spend from your profit every month. That's how to pay yourself as a self-employed.
So, to you who asked the question, you say you are not breaking even yet.
You are not breaking even yet.
And so, profit self never did.
You need, well, I would say.
More like, should you factor your salary into your costs?
No salary yet.
Okay.
But the question is, if that is his only source of income, how does he survive?
Okay.
Do you understand? That's another perspective to it.
If you are not breaking even yet, go and look for a job.
Exactly. You need to increase your sources of income.
Look for a job so that a company will pay you, then you can now take out of that salary to invest in that your self-employed business.
Or else the business will not grow. And that's why a lot of small businesses fail. Yeah, there's no continuity, there are no structures, there's no money to run it. Right?
And yeah, thank you. I want to correct this notion. Many people say, oh, go and quit your job now and go and start a business. You have to plan it. And there's nothing wrong with even being an employee. There's nothing absolutely. Just look at the MD of Coca-Cola. How much do you think that man is earning? How many people's business can pay his salary? His salary will buy multiple businesses. So there is no one way out of the 4 quadrants that is less than another or wrong. It's only that it gives you leverage when you do like the I quadrant or the B quadrant. It gives you more leverage of time to enjoy your other hobbies. That's all. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. There's nothing wrong with being a businessman. And there's nothing wrong with being both. Yeah. So please.
All right, thank you. The last question. Say, I have 10,000 naira and I want to start up a small business. How can I save or get 100,000 naira by the end of the year? I take.
Wait, come again.
Let's take it again. Let's take it again. Don't worry, you won't put the 10,000 in MMM. He said, I have 10,000 naira and I want to start up a small business.
Okay.
How can I save or get 100,000 by the end of the year?
I can advise you.
Advise the person.
Yeah, I can advise. I mean the person.
Okay.
You means the person. The person asking the question, not you reading it. Okay. And it's not about the amount alone. Like the question, how to save 1,000 every day for 360 days. Number one, look at those hawking pure water, sachet water on the street. Do you know that they make money? Do you know the profit on one bag? From the company to produce one bag of pure water costs approximately, because of the power issue, approximately 150 naira per bag for production. So sales, they give it out to the next distributor at 170. And those that are selling little, if you go directly to the company to buy, you buy it at 150. You sell, right now, I don't know how much it is in Lagos, in Ibadan. I know 3 sachets of water is 50 naira. How much is it in Lagos? Huh? Okay. So do that mathematics. You can buy a bag of water and resell it. One. If you have a car, or even if you don't have a car, you can get a taxi. Start from, you say you have 10,000. You can buy 10 bags, go and resell it to somebody. Or if you want to add value to that water, you put it in the freezer. Frozen water, additional 50 naira per bag. That's how to add value to whatever product you have. When you sell that one, resell it, buy, resell, buy, resell. That is just a typical example. You can take any business. You can decide to use that 10,000 to buy broiler chicken. You will raise one broiler chicken to maturity in about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and you sell it. I will tell you the margin. To raise one broiler chicken, on the average, it will cost you 1,500. And when you want to sell it, you cannot sell one broiler chicken for less than 2,500. You can even sell it as high as 5,000, depending on the weight. So those are how to calculate it. Those are how to multiply your money. That's how to stretch from little to many. And if you start with 5 chickens, by the time you sell it, you will increase what you are doing to 10 chickens. And that's a cycle of 6 weeks. You can graduate from that one to 100 chickens. That's how I actually started the poultry business. I started with 100 chickens. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for them. All right, so now that we've come to the end of this session on personal finance, but we still have, I owe you something, right? Because if I say you guys can start going, I'm very sure nobody would go. I've realized the movement has reduced because there are free books, to be won. So how do we do it? Do you have? Okay, let's just make it fun. For the next 10 minutes, we are going to ask questions, and I will need someone to help me take down the names of those getting it right, because the books may not be readily here because we're on stage. So each winner, you put, Chief, you help me. Just get the pen and paper. Or your phone. Sorry, I reduced you to pen and paper. He's already brought out his phone. So the winners, he will take your names, then hand them over later. I would get the books across to you. Now, if you answer questions from Bayer's books, you get a buyer's book. If you answer questions from Shola's book, you get a Shola's book. Now, everyone is entitled to only one slot.
Yeah.
So we don't expect you to win 4 books. All right? So once you won a book, if you answer the question right the next time,
you can win maximum of 2 if nobody else can answer.
Okay. All right? Is that fair? That's fair, right? Okay, so one question. First question from you. I'll be in the audience. No, I'm not answering. I'll give you microphone. I have the books.
Okay.
Okay.
In one short sentence, another name for budget.
If you know the answer, raise your hand. Okay. Naya, our celebrity.
Finance map or finance Google map.
Money map. Thank
Money
you.
map.
She got it. Put your hands together for her.
Naya, just put Naya there, number 1. That's one book. Okay.
What's the title of my book? This book that we are talking about.
Who knows the title?
Because he read it out.
Okay, Taiwo.
Exact word.
32. Okay, 40 frugal ways to financial freedom.
You read it out, so no, she didn't get it. But I think the window is over. Somebody could have Googled it already.
It's okay.
It's okay, so say it nonetheless. Somebody is raising their hand there.
Okay, I thought you were. All right.
"40 fragile laws of financial freedom."
Sorry, no. Not a good.
Are you there? Okay. Shout. Don't send me message. Shout. 12 bow. 12 what? No, that's not the book. It's the 12 C's, not the 12 C's. Okay. Did you just Google it? This is the last attempt.
40 frugal law for personal finance.
No?
Okay. Well, no one got the answer, so
It's-
our answer is, I said it actually, 40, what? Oh, who? Ah, you? Okay, last person.
40 frugal rules for your journey to financial freedom.
Put your hands together
Put
for
your hands
her.
together for her.
So, put her name, Kachi. Another question, sir.
Okay. Who can name the 4 quadrants?
So this type of question, I think we can take one from here, and one from up, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but
No, you already took one from that side. So go
if you
up.
get it right, the next person will just copy your answer.
It's
So
okay.
what do we do? Say it to me. All right, correct. He got it, sir. I know it.
Okay. Can you give him the mic to say it now?
Okay.
He said he got
ESBI. And of course, employed, self-employed, business and investment.
Put your hands together for him. So we know he knows it.
Okay. You want someone else to try?
No, that's okay. That's all.
Okay.
Another question.
then.
All right. So when I was teaching the other time,
Let's have it quiet, please.
when I was talking rather, I said
coming there
that
now.
before you invest, there are 4 things to consider. It was an acronym. Who can mention them and tell me what they are?
Hold on. See, opportunity for you at the gallery, because when I start here now, you start shouting gallery, gallery. No one is raising their hand.
Moderator, this side.
Okay. Over here, over. Let's see the lady. This lady over here.
SGAR. And S stands for financial situation or affordability. And G stands for growth. And A stands for age. And R stands for risk management.
Temperament. Put your hands together for her.
She got it. What's her name? Okpeyemi. So you meet me after this session, right? Next question, sir.
This one is simple, but you just have to go. Just one.
The person with the highest hand, I will call. Yes?
Who can tell me the first 4 laws in the Bible?
Aha. Okay. Don't worry. Okay.
Fruitfulness. You should replenish. You should dominate. You should be fruitful. You should replenish. You should multiply and dominate.
Is that correct, sir? Would you manage?
He managed to get it, but he did not arrange it well.
Okay.
Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and dominate.
Is that correct?
Yes. Let's give
Correct.
the 2 of them.
All right. What's your name? Bola. What's your name, sir? Say it again. Okay, so put Brother Taiwo this time around. And Bola, Sister Bola. So, another question.
All right. When I was talking about my book the other time, I said it's A to Z, right, of different small financial rules. I mentioned one D in particular. DD. What was it?
Okay, DD. Let me start from here. You? Which gallery?
The DD stand for dodge debt.
Put your hands together for him.
Let's put our hands together for him. Your name, sir? Churchill. Churchill. Okay. Next question.
Okay. This one. Is it who is next? Gallery or anyway?
Well, we'll start,
Okay.
we'll give them preference.
Who can tell me the name of the founder of KFC?
Don't Google it.
Full name.
The name of the founder of KFC. Gallery. Waiting. You want to try? Okay.
Kentucky roasted chicken.
No, mommy, that's the name of his company. It's the name of the founder that we're looking for. You guys have Googled it. No, Grace. Grace has come this way.
Pasandas. Pasandas. Pasandas.
Did you Google it?
Colonel Anna Sanders.
That's a good one.
Is that
It's
correct? Correct. What's your name? What? Emmanuel. All right, Mr. Please take down Mr. Emmanuel. All right.
So please go and read the story. That's
read
why I asked that question, because I want people to still go back home and read that story.
All right, 2 questions in one. I spelled out my Instagram handle earlier on. And how many books have I written? You must be able to answer the 2 together. No chorus answers.
Raise your hand. What do you like? Instagram handle, right?
Instagram handle and
So spell it out.
Okay, let's spread it to 2 questions. Gallery, what is her Instagram handle? Shout. Depends. What? No, ma. Wait. Gallery, were you? That I introduced that. I almost said so many sweet things about her. Okay.
Spell it.
Sola underscore Adesakin, then SOLA underscore ADESAKIN. Then 8 books.
No, there are 2 questions. All right, so he's got it, Sola underscore Adesakin. So write his name down, my friend. All right. Now, how many books has he written? That one should be a young person, not this Agbalagba raising your hand. I need someone young to answer the question. Someone young. One Aburo. That kind of not you. This Aburo. How many books?
8 books. 8 books.
What's your name? Oba. So you simulate Oba. His name is Oba. Okay, it's 8. Yeah. He spelled it, but give away for the Aburo. One question for you, from you.
Okay. I mentioned my website.
Okay. Yes, he did. I even remember it.
But don't give anybody from Testimony Outreach.
Nobody from Testimony Outreach. Are you from Testimony? I'm suspecting, but again.
WordicConsortium.com.
Clap for him.
What's your name? Emmanuel. So you meet me after. Emmanuel. His name is Emmanuel. All right. How many is that altogether, Chief? How many books are those altogether? Add up to 10? 12. So that's 12 books already. So eight questions to go.
Then we can just.
And yeah, the rest will just.
Okay, so I mentioned another book that I'd written. The title, right here. I talked about it, about business. Who can remember? When I was talking about funding, I said in my book titled.
You know it? Okay. Who can remember? You? You want to try? Okay. This gallery. Nobody has won any book from gallery, so don't call my name again.
Title. Budgeting. Budgeting.
No.
No, that's not the book.
The title of the book is 4 Ways to Source Fund for Your Business.
That's not the, but more like it.
Okay, so let's give him. The title is The Real Profit.
Oh. Did you know it? Oh. You were not sure. Next time be sure now.
So we shouldn't give him, Abi.
No, he said something 4 ways of budgeting.
No,
That wasn't it at all.
Okay, what's the name of my company?
Okay, hold on. You. Are you Amazon care? That's not Jeff Bezos. Someone that have not made any attempt before. What's in it? She said it several times. You're even checking Instagram before ask. Okay.
Smart Steward.
Smart Stewards. Yes, you got it right.
All right. So Taiwo, sister, this time around, Mrs. Taiwo. So we are going to stop here. We would borrow, the remaining books, we would give it to the session for tomorrow to do giveaway. That's fair, right? Yes. So make sure you are here. There are books to, for that, giveaway. And then if you did not answer any question correctly, but you really want these books, we'll make them available outside at the discounted price, so that you can get a copy. Now, with a standing ovation, let's tell them thank you. If you enjoyed this session, tell them thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate your time. We appreciate your this way. Don't sit until they are seated. Thank you very, very much for coming. All right. So be seated. So we are going to end this session now. So typically, the afternoon session is meant for us to grow practically. All right? So that's why we don't just want, apart from listening to the word, to grow spiritually. We have been, if you notice, we have spent the afternoon sessions to touch on the remaining areas of our lives. Okay? So we are happy that you are getting value from this. This is the first time we are trying panel sessions throughout, and we can see that, a lot of value is given. We pray that by next convention, we are going to hear testimonies how these sessions were able to transform your lives. Now, after now, we'll be going for a break. Ideally, it's between 4 and 6. Within this break, you should rest, stretch, and eat before you come back by 6. By 6, we are going to have a wonderful session, and we're expecting Pastor Sam Adeyemi, right? Yeah. Now, apart from that, we have a lineup of wonderful music that will come on today, and we have one of our sisters around who's going to bless us with her celebrity voice. Let's put our hands together for the evening session. Let's put our hands together. Let's rise as we share the grace. Now, for those of you who want books, don't harass me. When I take, delivery of the books, I will definitely make an announcement so that we'll give it out. We have your list, with our brother. Let's rise as we share the grace. Let's share the grace in fellowship. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now and forever. Amen. Surely, God's goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. All right, see you at 6.